Hello, my name's Katie Walker. I'm an EFTI master trainer and practitioner, and I'm joined by the beautiful Lori Lamont, who is a colleague and a friend. Hello, Lori.
Hello. Thank you for meeting with me.
Oh my gosh. So Lori's also an EFTI master trainer, and I wanted to do this because Lori is actually gracing Australia with her presence in February, which is super exciting, to run what's called matrix reimprinting. And I wanted to be able to meet with Laurie to be able to get some more information. Because
Sure.
sometimes when we have it written down, it can still not be so clear. And
Mhm.
just to be able to go, what is it? What is MR? What is matrix reimprinting
Yeah,
as a starting question?
absolutely. So matrix reimprinting is a technique that we can use with any, not necessarily, it doesn't have to only be trauma, but any trauma or any shocking, unexpected moment that a person had
Mm,
experienced. And it's very
mm.
different in that where in regular EFT, you're taught how to use the movie technique and kind of see something up on a wall, whereas matrix is more like the client is the director of their own play. And we're actually very much involved in all the aspects of what's happening in the story. And so, and where EFT might be more clearing the aspect focus,
Mm-hmm.
sort of like tip over the table, Matrix is more focused on identifying the core belief that was formed in that trauma and then unraveling from there. So it's just kind of like coming at the situation from another angle and
Yeah.
using a lot of creative. Um, it's very flexible. It's very. I don't think any two matrix sessions are the same, so it's really difficult to kind of But the parameters are the same in that you would as a practitioner you would actually have your client enter that memory, and then the client becomes the practitioner for their younger child or their
Oh,
younger self. So it's kind of
yes.
like this beautiful hybrid of parts work, inner child, energy. It's very much energy focused. We talk a lot about morphic resonance. We talk a lot about the field and what we're doing in the field. And
Yep.
yeah, so it's very spiritual, energetic component of EFT where we can really kind of get into the memory and address way more that was sort of like formed from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love that. I love that because I was going to ask you, like, in terms of the parts or the inner child stuff, it's very much about that. And to your point, it's like that moment in time where someone experienced something and a belief was formed, and really being able to support that change and for it to be very different. But I love what you just said. No two matrix session is the same, just in terms of how
Yeah.
the client is showing up as, I love that, the practitioner to their younger self to
Yeah.
help facilitate that process. So what can I just ask in terms of the actual training itself?
Mhm.
What does that look like from,
Yeah.
if because
Sure.
lots of EFT practitioners have heard of MR or matrix reimprinting. So what does it kind of look like in terms of that?
So the training itself, Carl requires all of his matrix printing trainings to be done in person. So for starters, they can't be done online.
Yeah.
So the first 2 days, and some people teach it as just a 2-day training where you get the foundations of matrix printing, where you learn how
Yeah.
to identify the memories, and then you go home, you watch 30 hours of videos, you take a test, and then you're certified. So that's one
Yep.
option. I opted to train with Carl so that I could teach his 4-day model. So at the end of the 4 days, you're certified. Now, obviously, I reserve the right if a person doesn't show that they're competent at the end of the 4 days. I suppose I could withhold the certification until they can prove that they're competent. It hasn't happened. Hope it never happens. But so I do
Yes.
reserve that right. But it's 4 days. So in the first 2 days, we're going through all the foundations of EFT, the matrix, fundamentals of it. You learn
Yep.
a couple techniques on how to like identify the memories, how to get into them, all that good stuff. And then then this is where the fun part comes. So then day 3, we learn how to use matrix for things like serious diseases, allergies, anxiety, it's kind of a heavier day in the sense that we address like a lot of the bigger stuff. Phobias, allergies, habits, serious health conditions, all that good stuff. There's also a component of the teaching that is focused on meta consciousness, meta health, GNM, like we do talk about that and how the impact of our physical health, there's that whole component. And then on day 4, we do birth reimprinting. Everyone will do their own, like everyone will get to experience the birth reimprinting. We talk about past lives and ancestral traumas, collective consciousness, and law of attraction. So the last day is kind of like a little lighter, a little fun. But at the end of the 4 days, you will have experienced and learned everything that you would have watched in those 30 hours of videos.
Wow,
But
that's
yeah,
that's exciting. And do they is a prerequisite that they are EFT certified and accredited, or
they
what's
only
the deal
have
with
to
that?
have taken EFT 1 and 2. That's it. The
One
only
and two. Yeah,
requirement is that you have to have attended EFT 1 and 2 with a reputable organization. It can't be like I took EFT 1 and 2 on Udemy or something. Like you have to
yeah,
actually take a legit EFT 1 and 2 training, and then you can come to the Matrix training. And also in the 4-day training, there's so much practice. Much like
which is
in your EFT training, there's so much practice. And
demos
um,
as well, obviously.
yes, there's demos, there's practice. So there's a lot of demos, a lot of practice,
Yeah,
and then also everyone who comes to my trainings, they also get registered for a group mentoring as well afterwards. And I run group mentoring every other month throughout the year. So there's always like additional support.
brilliant. I love that. So, drum roll, please. The dates for when you are coming to bless us with your presence in Australia. So, this is good
Yes.
for anyone that is in Asia Pacific region because getting to Australia is easy. Anyone in New Zealand, anyone in Asia. Sorry, it is February.
February 10th through the 14th. Our last day will be Valentine's Day. And
Oh,
so February 10th through the 14th. And
Sydney.
then sorry.
In Sydney. It's in Sydney.
In Sydney, Australia. And
Mm-hmm.
it is $9.95 for the class. That does come with the full certification, and there's there's a manual. It comes with follow-up mentoring, and there's an early bird coupon, EFT 50 to take 50 off if you register within, during, as long as you
During the
register within 30 days of the training. And
yeah,
we have a lovely hotel that we're staying in at the
yeah,
event, and they gave us a great discount. And yeah, I think that's
that's
all the
awesome. So in
technical
Sydney,
pieces.
so the 995 is 995 US dollars,
It's
just to clarify.
USD, I know,
Yeah.
which I understand that there's the whole, but when I looked at what people are charging in Australia for Matrix and for the specialty training, it actually was different by $4. So
Yeah. Oh no,
yeah,
no, it's comparable. Just because people watching this may be in Australia and they're thinking 995, that's Australian dollars, beautiful, but it's
sorry, it's
995.
USD.
That's okay. So it's around the 1500, 1600, but to your point, it's 4 days worth. And at the end of that, there is a certification that comes with that
Yeah.
process. And also just having, there's something a bit special about doing in-person training. Majority of the time we're doing online training. And so being able to be there physically is fantastic. So
Yeah.
any questions though, they can go to your website, which is
Empowerment EFT, and
Empowerment
there's a
EFT.
section, yeah, Empowerment EFT, and then if you go to like supporting EFT practitioners, there's a whole drop down with all the different, there's
Brilliant.
matrix in there.
Brilliant.
And I allow, people want to do payment plans, they're welcome to. I'm pretty flexible,
Oh, that's cool. That's
whatever
cool.
they need, so.
Whatever's easy. Yeah. Well, I'm excited because I get to be there with you and to meet you in the flesh, which will
I
be
know,
so
I can't
cool
wait.
because we've been talking for quite a few years, and it'll be wonderful and just to see you in your zone of being a trainer, and particularly in matrix reimprinting, which is a fantastic modality addition to what we do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually one other thing I want to say is a lot of people come to me and they're like, oh, I already read the books, or oh, I took the training a while ago. In 2018, Carl made a lot of changes. And I shouldn't say a lot, I mean a handful, but really they were big changes. And so there are a number of steps that are we're no longer doing. There's some streamlined processes, and then there's also the new technique that he calls follow the energy, which is what we start off with on how to identify the memories that we're going to work with. So
Great.
there are
Great.
new components. I went and trained with him in Croatia and India, and that's how I learned all those. When I went to Croatia, I thought I knew what I was doing, and that's when I learned that he had changed a lot.
Oh, that's so good.
So,
That's great to know that, right?
but yeah, so there are changes. It's definitely updated. It's definitely streamlined. It's definitely, yeah, a lot of the steps in the book are just kind of, they're
A
not
bit
necessary.
redundant.
Yeah.
Redundant.
So,
And it always,
or
I
like to
mean, no,
stroke the ego. They're really to like make the client feel important, not necessarily to help the younger self, the
young,
echo.
younger stuff. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
So there, yeah. So there's kind of like he just realized like, oh, we don't need these things, so got rid of them, and it's much
And I,
faster now. So you can kind of like address a few memories in one session rather than just like one, because you can go a lot faster through the session,
yeah.
through the memories.
And it does worry me a little bit if someone's learning from a book and they haven't had the, no disrespect, but they haven't had the proper like level 1, level 2 training, and then
Mm,
the actual context and content in the training. So that's awesome to know. So there's lots of changes. So if you've done
yeah,
it, if it's pre 2018, do it again. Awesome.
yeah. So
Awesome.
thank you.
So nice
Yep,
chatting with you, Laurie. I can't wait to meet you in
thank you.
February. So I'll include all the details in this post. So thank you.
Thank you.